We're about to be in the best timeline. Mark my words.
And the best timeline has descended upon us, chat. Good evening, good morning, good day, wherever in the world you are. It's time. It's time to smell the daisies. And the daisies are going to be perfumed with a little bit of body odor. And sprinkled with a little bit of betrayal here and there. Because we're going to be talking about the infamous OffKai Generation 3, which has concluded yesterday. And there has been a lot of happening with it. Worse than last year, but also better than last year. So we're going to be talking all about that. So do strap yourself in, because we're going to be talking about some individuals that you may not have expected to be connected to today's stream, but they're going to be connected because everything's fucking connected to VTubers somehow. I don't know how this happens, but somehow does. My personal interests in lolcows seem to twist dimensions, seem to twist reality itself, and draw them in to my personal hobbies. And one individual that has reared his head, has kind of lifted his head out of the trough, because that's what where they eat from, is none other than Ethan Ralph. Ethan Oliver Ralph of the Kill Stream, infamous grifter from the GameGate era, has decided to go after VTubers. And somehow, because his former best friend Gator is involved in all of this, he decided to go after VTubers. He's probably streaming right now. I'm quite sure he is. I got some screenshots from his stream with his chat regurgitating the same things you would think normies not knowing anything about the VTubers would say. And today is not going to be a stream fully about Ralph, because that would kind of beat the purpose of this being a OffKai Generation 3 recap stream. But considering Ralph is now streaming about VTubers, we're going to take a look at his stream probably tomorrow, because I'm digging enough time in June to be able to cover everything before I go on vacation. I don't know if I'm gonna stream during the vacation. I will have my laptop with me, so I might be inclined to do that, but I just do not know. What I do know that I will be covering Anime Expo this year, and I'll be sure to show you all the VTuber goodies that are available there. And I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit, because VTubing is becoming, well, has been becoming quite big everywhere. And since AX is the anime adjacent and anime focused industry event, it's less about the fans on that event, it's more about the industry and what they can sell you. There's a lot of industry people there, and I'm sure VTubers are going to be quite popular there as well this year. So whatever I find, I'll be sure to show to you. But before we go through that, let me read that super chat real quick. Rubbish Soldier, thank you for the 5. Gonna be real. I think it's better to Ralph fizzle out and not talk about him. He'll die alone in Mexico, broken and pathetic, winning move not to play. I would agree, but at the same time, I need my jollies. I really need my jollies, because whenever Ralph is talked about, whenever Ralph decides to take action, he will melt down spectacularly, because the man has never scored a fucking victory in his life. Whether it's online or offline, Ralph is always gonna get felted by something or someone. Mind Eating Hat, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. But yeah, before I start talking about all of this shit, let me get some music on, and then we can kind of go over the structure of today's stream, because I like to keep them just a little bit structured, so as to not, meander points, so as to not to, keep you guys here too long, because I know you're busy individuals. That's why you tune in into VTuber drama streams, and I know how much time they can take off, especially out of your lifespan. But today's stream shouldn't be too long, because I've pretty much gone over everything I wanted to talk about in my notes, and I made a lot of notes about today. So let me kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about today. Let me just bring some stuff up. So today I'm going to give you a quick recap of what has been preluded to OffKai Expo Generation 3. And that is the Kersa situation, which I covered on one of my previous streams, in which Kersa got blacklisted from a talking panel from this year's OffKai. And that started a lot of digging into how the convention is actually structured, who is in charge of it, and what kind of opinions do they have about VTubers they don't like, and how they actually treat them once they are actually at the venue. So we're going to be going, I'll give you a little of TLDR on that one. Then we'll move into discussing the sequel to Kersa, because Kersa has actually appeared in some shape or form during this OffKai. Because, you know, since she promised to meet some fans at the venue, it would be quite disappointing she didn't. So she did, in fact, had a small meet and greet. A very ghetto one, might I add, in the parking lot, close to a dumpster. I know how that may sound, but a lot of people showed up to it, so I think it was pretty nice. As a gesture, I can respect it. I don't know if close to a dumpster is the right venue for that sort of thing, but you know, you have to go with what you have. You can't spit on hospitality, even if that hospitality isn't given. So we're gonna take a look at what Kersa has been doing with that. After that, we'll take a look at the main event of what you probably came here for. We're gonna be discussing this. I don't want to call it too much of a conspiracy theory, because you know, there is some what do I even call it? Circumstantial evidence, maybe a bit less than that, but there is some malice involved. There is some malice, and there may be some bad intentions when it comes to the volunteers and the organizers behind OffKai Expo last year and this year as well. We're going to be taking a look at how Face Connect, or the VTubers of Face Connect, have been treated during the convention. The infamous stream that got cut very short for online viewers from the from OffKai Expo's official Twitch. We're going to be taking a look at what happened in that. And we're going to also be taking a look at the infamous moderator that has been found during that stream. And people decided to dig a little bit into him, and it has been quite enlightening, if I do say so, about his leanings, which are very, very left, as you may probably expect, and what he thinks about the people that have given all of this fucking money, all of this sponsorship to OffKai Expo, and you know, how basically that kind of representative as a volunteer kind of spits wholesale on what Face Connect, what Sakana and others have done for the convention. Because, you know, sponsoring all of the tables for the vendors, that's already a huge gesture. That costs a lot, especially since OffKai has grown quite a bit in the recent year. There's been so many people, and if any of you actually attended the convention or actually seen some photos from the convention, and there are many of those online, just can go into Twitter and look those up, you'll see how crowded it got, and that comes with its own problems, which I'm gonna also discuss with you today, because growing pains for conventions are a very big thing, and these growing pains need to be mitigated before the actual convention takes place. And usually it turns out well for ever-growing conventions with hobbyist niche interests. But OffKai Expo wasn't very ready for this one, and there has been a lot of scuff, if you want to call it that, during this convention. Quite a lot of it involving overcrowding. And with that overwhelming smell, imagine the smell, chat. Imagine the smell of VTuber fans congregating in very narrow passageways where there's no place to move out of the way, and the only thing you can do is kind of squeeze yourself in with other attendees so others can pass through like a corridor that these people are gonna make for them, and it's not a very good experience if you can imagine, especially if you have a sensitive sense of smell like I do. I've been to a few conventions, and most of the ones I attended were quite big ones. So there's going to be Anime Expo, there's going to be Otakon in there. So two of the biggest conventions in the US, and both of these have very good air conditioning inside the venues at the convention centers. But even then, chat, even with all of these means, there's gonna be if you encounter a person with bad hygiene, and it's easy to encounter a person with bad hygiene in conventions that are related to anime interests. You can trust me on that one. There's gonna be a few problems here and there because the smell can be overwhelming. So not only do you think of the smell, but you experience it by your own. So it is a problem, but the smell is not just one thing. Things like fire safety, being able to actually leave the venue in a safe way, preventing things like crashes, because those can be concerns, believe it or not, at big conventions. And to give you an example, I know I'm kind of meandering, but I think this needs to be explained to you. Crashes are a very big danger, probably one of the biggest dangers when it comes to overcrowding events. I've been to events myself in my life that had huge problems with overcrowding, and one of these events, I'm not sure if you know what that is, but one of the events called a Love Parade in Germany. It's one of those. It was because it's not longer taking place, and I don't think they restarted it. During one of the years of Love Parade, there has been a huge amount of people that were being channeled throughout the streets of Berlin, I believe, at that time, and a crash occurred. Many people died during it, either via physical force trauma or just suffocated. And this has been a huge problem for organizers of mass events everywhere. And this was outside, chat. Sure, they were funneled through a tunnel, but all of this was outside, and the crash still occurred, and people died. I attended some love parades before that, and I had a lot of fun, but even then, the overcrowding was already a huge problem. And ultimately, because, the organizers of the event, which was a huge event, thousands upon thousands of people, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands from bystanders and things like that. Because the logistics of the event were badly organized, it actually led to deaths. And what Anime Expo has been doing in the recent years to prevent overcrowding has been almost nothing. And I'm quite sure the authorities have been alerted about that, especially last year. If you saw some... if you've seen some crowds from last year's Anime Expo on social media, you probably understand what I mean. The crowds are huge outside of the venue, and what's worse, they are huge also inside of the venue, which shouldn't be the case, because once you get in, it should probably be unloaded in some way. But it has become a problem. A few more attendees here and there, and it's gonna be shoulder to shoulder at some point. So anime getting popular, anime conventions getting popular, it is becoming a problem, and it's gonna be a really huge risk to your health at one point. So before you go to any huge convention, be sure to avoid huge crowds. If you're in a crowd that's, again, shoulder to shoulder and you cannot move, try to get out of there in a safe way. Do not push other people, because that causes crashes. If you are moving in a line that's already overcrowded and you cannot go back, you can only go forward, to try to go backwards. Because if you contribute to the line of people, to the wave of people becoming unstable, you're gonna contribute to a crash. So do not do that. But that was my safety PSA for for mass events, because I've seen them firsthand and I know how dangerous they can be. So I'm sure OffKai Expo won't have that kind of problem yet. I'm quite sure if the next year's event is going to take place, they're actually going to move a venue to something else, because the Hyatt Hotel is getting a little bit too small for that. And considering how many people were there this year, they need to change that. They need to change the area, otherwise it's going to be shit. So yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. So the phase A logging, going back to the phase A logging of people behind the scenes working against Face Connect and quote unquote bigoted Nazi VTubers. We're gonna be talking all about that and what kind of actually opinions these people have, because you actually need to see who you're dealing with, and who you're dealing with is a bunch of really unreasonable people that they just want you gone. They don't want to discuss things with you. They just want you to fail. They don't want to have any negotiations. They will not take prisoners. They just want you fucking gone out of their sight, and they want your career ruined to a degree as well, because that's how vindictive they are. Because they decided you are the enemy in their own minds. Even if the things they think about you are untrue, they will just still push the same narrative, most of it based on lies, in order to get rid of you. And when it comes to conclusive evidence about, you know, anyone getting actually sabotaged during the convention on FaZe's side, it's hard to say with, you know, without conclusive evidence on that one. I know Kersa, during her last stream yesterday, has mentioned that she will have something ready in terms of recipes when it comes to the organizers actually wanting to get rid of people from OffKai Expo. I don't know if she dropped that information yet. I don't think she has. So if she ever does, go look into that, because it may be quite a lot more than what I have. You've probably seen the information I'm going to show to you today in some other streams if you have been paying attention. So for some of you, this is going to be new. For some of you, this is going to be a recap of that. But having that information out there is important, because these people shouldn't be allowed to work in the shadows and just, you know, perpetuate lies about innocent people, especially innocent people that contribute to you know, the funding and the success of your event, because that's what FaZe did. You won't find many sponsors that are going to be willing to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, you know, to fund all the vendor tables, because again, that's a lot of money. And let's not forget the fact that, you know, just their presence at OffKai Expo, just Face Connect's presence at the venue, it increases the attractiveness of the convention in itself. So it's going to bring in more people. There's going to be more ticket sales. There's going to be more badge sales, of course. And the people that are going to be attending are also, of course, going to be, you know, spending money at the venue itself. They're going to go to artists' alleys. They're going to be buying merch. And, you know, all of that is just going to contribute to a healthy development of the convention going forward. So spitting in the face of someone that does so much for you, just because, you know, you think they're the people that, you know, are under your banner are evil neo-Nazis, which is, of course, as you know, not true, is just completely ridiculous and just a little bit more unhinged than, you know, I'm ready to accept. So this is the type of people are going to be discussing with that. Also, I have a few photos, a few miscellaneous photos here and there prepared. about some events that happened during the convention, like little things here and there. Some funny ones, some concerning ones, but mostly, I'm going to be talking about some of the experiences my friends that were at OffKai this year had, and how they thought the event was run, if they actually had fun, and what were the pros and cons of actually attending OffKai Expo. So if you ever want to return to the convention, despite all the things in the background, you'll actually be able to make some kind of informed decision about that instead of just relying on one person's information. But then again, you also don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe me. I have friends, for that matter, that attended the event. But a lot of them have corroborated certain information that makes me believe certain things at the event did actually happen the way they did. And a lot of them have a more objective point of view than some that would like to think about this in purely emotional terms. I'd like to apply a little bit of logic of this to this situation instead of just going on gut feelings, if possible. But yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing. And lastly, the juiciest part to me, we're going to be talking about Ralph's, even Ralph's involvement in all of this, because this is going to be a prelude to the content I have ready for you in subsequent streams about him. Because I know he will not let this go. He's that kind of person. If you want to call him that, he's barely human as far as I'm concerned. He barely qualifies as a Homo sapien. So dehumanizing Ethan Ralph is warranted, I think. Well, on my end, I do not care. I do not think he's much of a human being or much of a male, despite what he thinks about himself. Having the self-appointed moniker of the Ralpha male, as he likes to call himself. So we're gonna be looking into what he had to say about that shit as well. And believe it or not, next time we're gonna discuss him a little bit more in depth, because he's my favorite person to laugh at. Well, one of my favorite people to laugh at. I'm a big connoisseur of lol cows, and Ralph has been constantly delivering the jollies throughout the years, and it's only gotten better. It's only gotten better in terms of entertainment value, but much worse when it comes to Ralph's financial and general life situation, because he's been growing fatter. He's been growing more unhinged, and what's probably more important, he got his noggin knocked so hard during the last few years that he may just be losing sensation in most of his body. And I know how that comes over when you have such a huge fucking body to control. And Ralph can barely control it because he tends to fall asleep during his own streams when he's looking up what the A-logs, his detractors, have to talk about on Kiwi farms. And as he falls asleep, so does his audience, and then everyone is a sleepy baby, and that's the end of that. But yeah, prelude out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this stream. So, as I promised, we're gonna be doing a quick recap of the Kersa thing that happened a while back before the convention actually started. And to give you an idea, Kersa Verstahl, some of you's favorite Foxu lady, had a panel scheduled at this year's OffKai Expo, and all of a sudden, she was notified by some of the organizers of the panel and the volunteers connected to it that Kersa cannot attend this year's OffKai. She will not be allowed to appear at the panel. She would still be able to attend the convention, sure, but she will not be allowed to speak during a panel. And why that is? Well, it turns out that some of the volunteers had a little bit of issues here and there with Kersa, especially with her opinions. A lot of the opinions taken out of context or misconstrued, so Kersa appears as some kind of bigoted weirdo. And I covered all of that during one of my last streams. If you wanted details on that one, go watch that one, or just ask Kersa herself. She's an open book about that, and I'm quite sure she's been going to be talking about that in length if it's ever going to be brought up and it's convenient to mention it. But long story short, the volunteers didn't have that much faith in Kersa when it comes to being at the event and making their volunteers upset. They got a little bit mad. They got a little bit spaghetti upsetting, and they kind of decided to not help out unless Kersa decides not to be there. So yeah, Kersa wasn't allowed to be at her own panel. One of be a speaker at that panel, and to actually investigate of what was going on behind the scenes, she got into contact with one of the main organizers of OffKai Expo this year. Lysander, I believe, was his nickname or actual name. And he explained why Kersa was disinvited as a panelist, although, again, she could still attend. And the reasons were incredibly petty. But Lysander decided to take into account the feelings of his very dumb volunteers and instead of Kersa. And they didn't exactly come to any kind of consensus. They agreed to disagree on a lot of the issues that were brought up during that time. And they essentially fucked off, and Kersa revealed all of the shit that was presented there. And what's more important, during that whole conversation that they had on Discord, is that Kersa magicked a confession out of Lysander, unintentionally, mind you, in which he said that Face Connect, and especially Pippa, there were antis of Pippa in the volunteers, in the organizers during last year's convention, and these apparent anti-Pippa people left a year ago, and this year was supposed to be different. So Kersa found out that unfortunately our dear Yabbit, Pipkin Pippa, has rubbed some people in very wrong ways, in the ways your parents wouldn't want to touch you. And they decided kind of to be very spoiled about it and not help them out in the future. But considering we know what we know now, there are still Pippa haters. There are still Pippa and Face Connect antis within the organizational structure of OffKai Expo, and we'll get to that. But before we get to that, let's take a look at how Kersa and her fans have handled this year's OffKai Expo and where all of that actually took place, because I already explained it, but I think you need to see for yourself. If there's a will, there's a way. So let me just get that up real quick, and you'll see what I mean. Hold up. I have a lot of screenshots from this, right? Streaming OffKai recap, Kersa. All right. Gonna be a little big. Let me zoom that in. Here's a very convenient robot on which Kersa came in on her lolly model here with another VTuber who's a friend of hers, Nanobytes, also known as Nanners. On the left, there's Moon, who helped Kersa move around, and I do not remember who the guy on the right was. I do believe it's written on his name tag here and there, but you know that's kind of irrelevant. But if you kind of zoom in on this one, you kind of see how they treated the additional pronoun tags that you could add to your badge here and there. So there's a whole collection of they, them, she, her, and a very custom one. It's very small. I have to zoom in very carefully on that one. It's I do believe it says retard/ed. So congratulations on that one, and how you didn't get in trouble for picking that kind of pronouns for yourself. But you know, some of you may not know this, but neo pronouns do exist. And if you want to be called retard slash ed, that's all on you, and people should respect your pronouns. So yeah, my pronouns are he, as in Michael Jackson. So whatever that is, you could add it to your badge collection, whatever. So yeah, Kersa and friends and fans decided to come in through the back, through the parking lot, and no, everyone was here. The infamous Gator, about whom we're going to be talking about later in connection to Ralph, has also been there. All of them were there. And here's Nanobytes announcing that Kersa has been included in all of this. I'm here just a little longer. Ed Kersa Verstal is visiting for impromptu meets. And there's Gator. The gang's all here. And with that, Kersa made her own little OffKai styled announcement that she's gonna have a meet and greet in the parking lot, very close to the dumpster. A certain terrorist group has managed to smuggle me into a certain place. Meet and greet, Kersa Verstal. Well, you did say I could attend. They did say that. They did in fact say that. And, you know, you'd rather avoid disappointing your fans, especially, you know, if they solely paid to see you doing a meet and greet and a panel. So, you know, a very good move on her, at least in terms of personal PR with her fans. So, respectable. And here's Kersa also mentioning that during this meet and greet, both Darling Stroby and Repses Desu were also included in the meet and greet as guests. Here's a close-up of Nanobytes and Kersa's lolly model. That's so much fun. I also got to drag Kersa in to say hello too. It's fun meeting so many cool people and bun bites. But you know, to rain on the parade of everyone, here comes Kersa's biggest fan, about whom I also did a stream the other day, Mr. Vollständigen Namen. So upon seeing a group of very diverse people, and I mean very diverse people, there's been all kinds of skin colors, all kinds of ethnicities that came to see Kersa, the meet and greet. So Mr. Vollständigen Namen, being a very non-racist person, said this upon seeing the variety, the outright diversity of Kersa's fans. He had this to say. Actually, this website is shit anyways. Fuck my visibility. I cannot say it. Nazis, crackers, coons, LMAO. So yeah, in case you didn't know, the most racist people are the ones that say they are the non-racists. So yeah, upon seeing a group of minorities and white people as well, this is what they had to say. And he went on a few rants in a lot of tweets when it comes to that too. Like if you go to his account right now, he's just continuously spurging about Kersa and how successful her dumpster meet and greet was. But, you know, Vollständigen Namen here. Couldn't accept that, and he decided to stir the pot. And I'm still very, very much surprised he hasn't been suspended from Twitter, considering the way he acts, because he's just outright harassing people day and fucking night about this shit. So yeah, this didn't end at that, because you know what Ref says. Desu says got this kind of answer from Mr. Vollständigen. Many best individuals was fun, says Rev. Mr. Vollständigen replies with XD! Ha 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 ha! So you pulled out because you thought you'd get kicked and claimed you would boycott the convention before that happened. And now you snuck back in? Jokes aside though, you're a piece of shit pedophile. So yeah, this is the kind of conversation, this is the kind of dialogue you can expect out of Mr. Vollständigen every single time. Do not expect him to make any kind of arguments for his case. He just likes to insult people here and there for whatever reason. And you know, to debunk what he has to say here, I do not believe Rev and Strobe actually entered the convention itself. I'm not sure about that one. I do know that we're just there as guests for Kirsch's meet and greet. But other than that, I'm not sure if they were actually attending as, you know, as, well, not as guests that I'm quite sure of. But I'm not sure if they were actually in attendance inside the convention, so I do not know. But yeah, this incurred a lot of spurgery out of Vollständigen Namen anyway. Nazi shit unite! And not being satisfied with, you know, shitting on Nanobytes and Darling Strobe as well as Rev, got this to say about Kersa. He posted this sign in German saying "good puppy," and the sign says "Wir müssen leider draußen bleiben," which means unfortunately we have to remain outside, as if Kersa is a dog that stays outside. Completely normal person behavior, by the way. He's the normal one. And of course, he also had to say a little bit about meet and greets that do not involve him in any sort of way. He even doesn't know any of the fucking people that are listed there. But even with that, he had this to say. That's a handy list. I assume that the people I don't know are pieces of shit. Based on all the ones I do know being pieces of shit. So, guilt by association. So, whoever is in this list, doesn't matter if these people actually know one another in any shape or fashion. They're a piece of shit because they appear on the same list with the people that Vollständigen knows are pieces of shit. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that Kersa has to deal with almost every single day, because this guy doesn't stop. He just goes on and on every single day with shit like this. And, you know, when Kersa actually showed up with, you know, that handy monitor and the meet and greet began, Moonshine says, "We're back." Vollständigen Namen says, "Actually, this website is shit anyways. Fuck my visibility. I cannot say it." And says it again, because once wasn't enough. Nazis, crackers, coons, LMAO. And with that, I also have a video prepared if you want to see how this event looked like. Let me just bring it up real quick. Hold up. Too many folders, chat. Way too many folders for this kind of shit. Alright. Here's one. Right. Let me make that a little bigger for you. There's the event. There's the impromptu meet and greet. Once more, in case you didn't see it. Here it is. So, as you saw, there was quite a few people. In a very windy, very windy atmosphere. And we get to the wind too, because the wind in that particular area was a big problem. Also another video from the event. Hold up. The one that Vollständigen replied to.
Oh, she's back! She's back! We're back!
So again, as you see, quite a few people. So yeah, despite all of this, it was a successful meet and greet for the few fans of Kersa that came. And despite some aunties, including Vollständigen, shitting on the parade, everyone had fun. And that's pretty much what matters to this whole occasion. Despite people shitting on you, you're still gonna have your own fun. If the event doesn't want you to be there as a speaker, you're just gonna have your own event with blackjack and hookers. Or blackjack and a lot of racial diversity, if you have you. But moving on. The meat and potatoes, probably the thing that you came here to see. The infamous sabotage of Face Connect and Pippa and Tenma's and a few other girls live event during OffKai Expo Generation 3. Let me get it up. So this section, I call it the Phase A logging, the Great Phase A logging. So let's take a look at what all of this was. First of all, upon hearing what would have taken place behind the scenes of OffKai Expo Generation 3, Nanobytes had this to say. The slimy things that happen in VTubing that most people don't see invest makes me sick sometimes. Assuming the shit is true, OffKai, what the fuck you all doing? Even though we don't have confirmation it's true or not, based on past things, I wouldn't be quick to doubt it honestly. It's just petty, super petty. And moving on, I have to explain what actually happened and why that frowny face from Pippa is very concerning. In case some of you don't know, Pippa and Tenma were supposed to have a big stream, which was also a live event during the convention. That went on for, I believe, an hour or so. However, the live stream of this event itself was cut short for unexplained reasons. The stream that went out to people on Twitch lasted only about 14 minutes. So a little chunk of the actual full stream. And it was supposed to, feature big things for Face Connect, big things for Tenma and Pippa, because their 3D models were showcased there. They had, some shows. They had a few events that they wanted to show to people during that stream. And all of that has been cut short for unexplained reasons, for, very vague reasons up until this point. So 14 minutes in, the stream suddenly switches to ads, goes off and then switches to ads. Well, what kind of ads? For other VTubers, for whatever reason. And from that point, a huge controversy started brewing. So Pippa, sad about what happened. In, I believe, Face Connect's Discord, things started to get discussed. Mods in OffKai chat saying this was Face's decision, not theirs. And then a mod, a Twitch mod from OffKai, an official mod of the event, called Gustavo BC's C, who we're going to be talking about in detail going forward, had this to say: Face's decision, not ours. By the decision, they mean the decision to actually run the ads instead of anything else, because of some unexplained, vague technical issues that were happening during the stream. And here's some more of the full conversation. Some people talking about it, and then the same message from before that you saw just a moment ago. Then why did we get a single Tenma performance with like 10 minutes and then get a random short talking segment? That Face ad is pretty good. Fuck stream, fucked ads, I'm out. I'm just really confused. What happened to the main stage event of FaZe then? Did it end? It was cut so much we didn't know what happened. I don't understand. And then again, this mod called Gustavo BCC says FaZe decision, not ours. And of course, FaZe Connect VTubers, upon seeing what has been happening, of course, started to sad post about it because, you know, it's quite understandable if a big event that you've been building up to for months has been essentially destroyed for a lot of people that want to see it online, you'd be sad fucking too. So there's Pippa, there's Shina, and there's Airi, all vague and sad posting about it. Unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. And Shina also posted this. It is funny, but it's also pretty fucking sad considering what has been happening. And from that point, rats started to appear. A first rat that was posted has been discovered on VT, where a volunteer was an apparent volunteer, not confirmed. We don't know if it was real or not. Had decided to kind of come clean about what was happening at the event and who or what was responsible for the stream getting cut short. So this is what this apparent volunteer had to say. Again, do not take this as, you know, confirmation of anything, because people write shit on the internet all the time just to stir up more controversy for whatever reason. But, you know, going forward, it's kind of... It's become a little bit more credible, as you will see. OffKai volunteer here for the general convention, so not any specific group attendees. There are some unintentional mishaps, but there's also some more deliberate sabotaging of attendees that those in charge do not like. It's not company specific, more so individual specific. Take of that what you will. I don't want to sit by while they do this. Believe me or not, I don't care. My conscience is free now that I have posted here. As far as I've been able to over here, it will happen again, at least one more time today and again tomorrow for the final events. Multiple group of attendees will be affected. I'll go extra meter to do my best to prevent this for all you up and put up a defense. You see someone being removed from the venue, they have stopped me. Please share this with the threads and other attendees. I don't have the time to type it all of them, as I don't want to be seen sitting on my phone in the lobby. And the event, the live stream event, called The Disappearance of Pippa and Tenma, was also supposed to have other FaZe talents in it. But due to these technical mishaps, or, you know, deliberate acts of sabotage, because again, that's was suspected at this point, Leah's, Uruka's, and other talents' appearances have been cancelled, unfortunately. And there have been more rats connected to that too. How long did they have to prepare for this con again? You would think stuff like this would be communicated. Apparently, what needed communicating the fact OffKai employs JAMA friends as diversity hires. And the blacklisting of Kersa should also have been a big red flag telling you what to expect. These people's online profiles need leaking, so you can cancel them for this kind of work. At the very least, refunds are in order, OffKai. Don't pull down the FaZe on her level. Kersa is a grifter and has nothing to do with us or our style. Her being blacklisted is a good thing. So again, someone trying to A-log Kersa, even on VT. To the people that hate Kersa, anything other than dilating your T-hole is fascism. It should be expected. So yeah, people were very mad about this, rightfully so. And as all of this was happening, as the FaZe talents were sad posting, and people were getting more and more pissed about it, OffKai Expo has finally decided to come up with an official statement. We had some internal miscommunications regarding the streaming of FaZe Connect's panel. resulting in unintended broadcast and poor stream experience. As always, we appreciate our fans at FaZe. A lot of people pointed out that the punctuation here is, you know, a little bit spotty, because that, as always, makes it seem like it applies to the previous sentence. So the scuff, an unintended poor stream experience, is expected. So as always, but I do believe they wanted that as always to be applied to the second sentence here. So we appreciate our friends at FaZe. So yeah. But mind you, none of this is an apology. This is all an internal miscommunication. So it kind of goes against the grain of what that moderator had to say. That it apparently was a FaZe decision. But here it is, an official statement from them saying it was miscommunication. So you could kind of, you know, infer from this one that they aren't to blame. Maybe it was FaZe's fault, maybe it wasn't. It was some internal miscommunication. Just, you know, hundreds of people being pissed because they didn't watch a very looked forward to event. Just a little bit of internal miscommunication here and there. No biggie, as they say. But yeah, none of this is an apology, by the way. It does not read like that. It just reads like placating and trying to, you know, tell people to stop talking about it. But the comments overwhelmingly did not take this kindly. And let's read through some of them. They literally sponsored half of your show and you're still gonna blame them? What a sad way to treat a company who sponsored the vendor hall. You're blaming FaZe? What are we doing, man? Put me in the screenshot. Hello. You're in the screenshot. Crazy as one gets. Pretty sure it was leaked on 4chans that this was gonna happen. Mind you, the timeline of these events is spotty to me. I don't know if that post on 4chan, the one with the volunteer account, actually came before the stream or after it. But if it came before it, that's very concerning. But I do believe it came after. But again, I'm not quite sure. But either way, there's things to think about. Activates your almonds, gets your noggin jogging, what have you. And there are more. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyone remember when OffKai's director admitted the volunteers were threatening to walk out because of Pippa? Given that, things are looking shady. So yeah, people aren't eating that bullshit up. And this is a screenshot of that particular conversation from Lysander they talked about during the Kersa portion of the stream. That explained that you know, the volunteers that were against Pippa apparently left them last year. And he had this to say. The people who had caused the issue with Pippa left us last year as well. So attendance last year was 1,153 people. And there was other scuff here as well. Also noticed someone was having some issues with OBS streaming software at the event, lol. The Twitch stream was pretty scuffed. 99% ads, 1% content. And in case you don't know what that red rectangle there is in the corner, that's part of the OBS positioning for certain elements of the sources of a scene within OBS. So yeah, that's how bad it got. It was very, very scuffed, very incompetent, especially, you know, for your main fucking sponsors. Embarrassing, as they say. Very embarrassing. And there's more comments. Give them their money back if you screwed up this badly. I need transparency on this. What happened? What specifically went wrong? This statement itself reads as malformed. Did staff intentionally mess up the event? Man, just pull the scene out of California and go somewhere else. I would agree with that. It's getting so old seeing you lot getting away with being as scrappy as possible to anyone you don't deem worthy. Unprofessional and indifferent describes OffKai. Of course, everyone totally believed this. We know your leadership hates certain face talents. Take their money and sabotage their panels. Maybe hire people who actually care about those events and not only the cash behind it. Bullshit amplifier detector. Reaching maximum scale. Kai's origins deserved better. Leah, Uruka, etc. Doko. OffKai starting to sound about as trustworthy as Niji management. Interesting to note, the word sorry doesn't appear in here once. Yep, there's just passing the blame. And their Nano Bytes also had a comment about it. Assuming that shit's true, OffKai, what the fuck you all doing? Even though we don't have confirmations it's true or not, based on the past things, I wouldn't be quite quick to doubt it honestly. It's just petty, super petty. And due to, you know, things getting scuffed, during day 2, a lot of the phase events had to be moved in time because, you know, the scuff that was created due to Pippa and Tenma's stream and appearance in general moved schedules forward, and that created scheduling issues with other events. And due to that, Dizzy had to come out and say this. Sorry to any lovebugs at OffKai about the sudden change. Please go support Euphoria. Instead, it's really important to me that my Kohai are given a proper stage and opportunity to shine for their first big convention. And yeah, Dizzy was supposed to be part of the events during day 2, but due to these scheduling mishaps, due to these scheduling schedules getting moved forward, she had to, well, I'm quite sure that she volunteered to give her spot to Euphoria instead, as Dizzy would do, because she's just that kind of person that does that. And that is very respectable. But yeah, people didn't take all of these announcements seriously, and there have been quite a few quote retweets too. You have to be the stupidest, dumbest numbskulls in the world of business I have ever seen. It was a phase decision. What idiot company runs 10 minutes of ads during a live performance, especially one where the CEO publicly makes sure to care for their talents? Why lie? Isn't Face Connect literally the same company that sponsored your vendor hall? What are you all even doing? This is one of those cases where we show the importance of proper punctuation, as I also mentioned, because it could be interpreted both ways, as them always expecting things to go haywire, or them always appreciating their face friends, which still sounds like a pretty disingenuous statement. And you know, as the time went by, a lot of other places have also been discussing that event. Here's a user from the virtual asylum VTuber forum adding a little bit more information to what has been happening. Because this person was apparently at OffKai and they've observed certain things happening. So let's read through that. I'm at OffKai myself and chatted around to get intel from some good-ass sources. Pretty much some volunteers have fucking unionized to kick out the Nazis, and some of these volunteers are being assholes to Capipis. Normal staff and security are trying their best to fucking deal with these R-words. Also, the people have fake badges. This is why it was way too packed. Even faking staff badges and vests. They planned for some fake badges by about 500, but they think it's actually 1,000. TLDR, gay-ass VTuber volunteers are trying to fuck shit up, and main staff is trying to tard wrangle them. If you're all calling yourself, fucking report these F-slurs to security. Besides this shit happening, everyone has been fun to hang out with, fans and other VTubers. Not letting these gay ups get me down. Again, take that with a grain of salt. Who knows how much of that is true? However, I can corroborate some other things that have been happening. There have been people telling me about these fake badges, and there have been there. fake badges present at the event. That also comes from the people I know that have been personally at the event, so at least that part lends a little bit of credibility to this statement. So it's very hard for me to feel that this person is actually lying about it. So, you know, a little bit of grain of truth there. Yeah, there may have been organized gay ops by very, very proactive volunteers. And as people have been digging into what has been happening at OffKai during that time, they also dug into that mod that said it was Faye's decision to run ads during the stream. As it so happened, this person had the same fucking nickname on his Twitter account that he had on his Twitch username. And they found out that he's a little bit of a piece of shit. And let's read through some of the things that they found out about him from various times during the last year or so. People really need to stop giving neo-Nazis and grifters this much of a stage of the space and gonna suck real fucking hard real soon. Of course, the motherfucker complaining about anti-white racism is the Nazi with the featured clips including actual racist jokes and admitting she's okay with slurs. LMAO, go fuck yourself. He's, of course, talking about Kersa here. And of course, as you all know, Kersa commented about the situation with with Niji Sanji and Uki Violetta anti-racist quote-unquote jokes. So yeah, that's what it's about. And then he continues. Awful lot of an actual neo-Nazis in the VTuber community, to be honest, which have never let them get as popular as they have. Imagine throwing random fuel into a fireball lying just because you can. Legitimately tired of people like you. Which still may be referring to Kersa, as she was talking about the things that were happening at OffKai at that time. It's kind of vague, so who knows? This person later says that this has had nothing to do with the things actually happening in OffKai, but something with his real life. But also considering what else he put up on his feed all the damn time, none of that had anything to do with his real life. So him suddenly just venting about his real life seems implausible. It's rather more that he's talking about the current events happening at OffKai. But yeah, as I was saying, people have been digging into what this guy has been saying for quite a bit of time. So here's a tweet from May 25th, 2023. A year ago. Over a year ago. What a cute little rabbit girl. I wonder what her opinions on minorities are. Oh no. What can Pippa's opinions on minorities be? Are they bigoted? Do they align with these dirty neo-Nazis? Which is funny to say, you know, considering Pippa is within a company run by a minority, which is mostly Asian girls, Koreans, Chinese, what have you. So funny that Pippa would have bad opinions about that sort of stuff. But yeah, moving on. This person also retweeted Marina, because why not? This is what Marina had to say about that time. People trying to kick should be cautious and think about the long term. Up and moving your whole streaming career to super sus platform is going to set you back even further when the too good to be true realization sets in. And you have to move back to Twitch or YouTube. This is, of course, about kick streaming. But, again, this presents what kind of attitude and what kind of beliefs this Gustavo BCC person has. And retweeting Marina on anything is a huge red flag, in case you don't understand. But in case you do not understand, go watch my previous streams about Marina. They're quite enlightening. And also retweeting this. This was during the Hogwarts Legacy thing, as people were trying to dig up things on Pippa and call her anti-Semitic. From this Conure person, which looks like a ghoul. a ghoul with terrible opinions about people, misconstruing jokes and situations, make people look bad. LMAO, this one's an anti-Semite. She's playing a game that references one world government, talks about how there's already a group of people running the world, while her chat spams, "Oh, they." In another clip, she references the Happy Merchant meme after a donation. Lame as fuck. Yeah, that one, less than a minute clip was enough for this. I don't know. I think this is a Keffel's Orbiter, actually, which, you know, also says quite a bit about that person. But yeah, this is what this mod has been retweeting. And also this. There's an industrial complex of VTubers forming that are grifting off Hogwarts legacy, and the quote-unquote harassment they're getting for it is coming from incel Nazis pretending to be trans. LMAO. But yeah. And, you know, there's more. This guy has also been proponent of the narrative that Pikami's graduation was planned months before she actually decided to graduate, and that the quote-unquote harassment that she received has not contributed anything to her decision to, quit VTubing as Pikami. And this is what they had to say about that situation. Now watch the transphobes come up with some conspiracy theory bullshit instead of accepting the truth for what it is. At this stage, we could have Pippa herself come out and say she's decided this on her first day, and people would still invent hoops to jump through to blame it on trans people. Again, because this probably hasn't been said enough during the last fucking year or so, or more at this point, really. There's plenty of evidence to showcase that the harassment has gotten to Pippa quite a little bit. And even Kson herself, in one of her streams, has confirmed that things have been pretty bad with Pippa in terms of the harassment she received. I personally have shown people that harassment from all sources on the internet have been getting to Pippa for quite a few months before then, with screenshots of what she had to say on a member's post on YouTube. And also the fact that Pippa had things planned for the whole year before she actually decided to graduate from VOMS. So why would you have year-long plans if you just decided to, remove yourself from your role as Pikami beforehand? Quite suspicious, but we discussed this shit like to death over fucking years and months at this point. But yeah, this is the kind of narrative this Gustavo BCC person has been trying to peddle to people. Let me read the super chat real quick. Malcolm Liang, thank you for the 5. No matter how many people they cancel, nobody will watch them, LMAO. Skinwalkers are real, guys. I mean, a lot of these people aren't even VTubers. They are they're just grifters and people that attach themselves to other VTubers and try to push forward their own agendas. That's pretty much what it is. But yeah, there was more. There was more than that. But surely Hoglegs accelerated the decision/process, no? Most contracts end on or renew in April because, he had insight into Pikami's contract, apparently. As if they would know. Also, if you really think a relatively short duration issue can make an entire event, which took months to plan, happen maybe weeks or months earlier than planned, you're delusional. Again, talking from a place of knowledge, as if that couldn't be possible. Essentially try to gaslit you into thinking that your version of reality is wrong. The kind of shit you see on the video where someone literally says they were told in January. And believe it or not, this shit show has gotten big enough to actually get the attention of none other than Mr. Medicare, Jim, who on his Moshi Moshi Moan account says this. As he was trying to investigate, he was asking about what the situation with Pippa was at OffKai. Why do retards hate fun? These animated avatars might make anime look bad with their humor and fun. Grabs his body pillow. Follow me and bring me the soy. Tonight we go to war. The important question is there a ball pit? And who controls it at the moment? I feel out of the loop. What the fuck is going on with this convention? And yeah. Since then, I didn't believe he made any further statements about it. I don't know if he's gonna be streaming about it. I think he's too busy being in excruciating pain because, you know, dying kind of hurts. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna go out of his way to talk about this immediately, if he ever does. But it'll be interesting what he has to say about it. I know Jim, you know, likes VTubers. He does like Pippa. He does like Kersa. I don't know how much he watches of Kersa, but he does like Pippa. I do not believe he's too familiar with the VTuber world, so I don't know. Someone could fill him in at some point, I imagine, if he's interested. But yeah, this shit show got so big that he actually got invested in it, just a little bit. But yeah, Gustavo out here, seeing that people have started to notice his comments from the past, came out and started running his mouth. If you want to cry about me being "Don't pick one," where I complain about Nazis, do you like them? 2, where I complain about unrelated people in my life. Reading comprehension doesn't seem to be very common anymore. Also, if you really think I personally took down the stream, you overestimate what an average dingus 2 continents away can do while asleep. Which is fucking stupid, because he was there during the stream. He wasn't fucking asleep. That's one thing. That's one lie already. And the other thing is, like, he's still trying to gaslight you that the people he's talking about are actual Nazis and not just fucking Kersa and Pippa. So what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Your defense is not only full of holes, it's a huge fucking hole. It's a singular hole. And you're visible right fucking through it. And, other people have been talking about it and just gathering evidence. The OffKai mod responsible for the Twitch shit show that blamed FaZe, by the way. At Kirschverstall was the canary in the coal mine. I get it's hard for the cons to be picky about who they take on as volunteers, but given these small tyrants, any degree of power is insane. And so on and so forth, letting them spit in the face of the sponsors. Kersa is an actual political grifter. Pippa is not. If FaZe and Pippa were cited that that's an actual issue unrelated to Kersa, who doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same breath as Pippa or FaZe. No, it's not like Kersa is a FaZe friend or anything. God damn, these people have they don't have better things to do than just invent narratives about Kersa. I don't know what the fuck she did to deserve that kind of thing. But again, people have been spinning narratives about me too, so it just kind of happens. People want to see evil in everything. The 2 issues are wholly separate. Ignoring your misuse of the word grifter, Pippa and Kersa regularly collab and are good friends. Kersa is even why we know that OffKai last year tried to oust Pippa but got all or none no negotiating from the fish, forcing them to oust the volunteers instead of Cave. Yes, I'm aware Kersa is trying to co-opt FaZe and Pippa to fight her battles to our detriment. No, she doesn't try to do that. In fact, she knows that her presence within FaZe itself would be detrimental to Pippa and others, and she never tried to rope in Pippa and the others to her own fights. Kersa has done things on her own, and if Pippa or anyone else ever collabed with her, that's usually by the request of the latter, not the former. Because Kersa knows that the things that she discusses on her streams aren't kosher enough for company settings such as phases. So she knows. She's aware of that. So what Krampus here is saying is just complete bullshit. Pippa has a unique ability to associate with terrible people. In this case, it was Kersa. Pippa was the last con, so the issue doesn't exist. Are you retarded? Pippa was on the con because the fish defended her with the company when they tried to get rid of her. And Kersa explicitly said if you ruin OffKai to Pippa because of her, she'll ban you. Exact opposite of trying to use face for herself. If Kersa wanted to keep Pippa safe, she wouldn't have mentioned her at all. She knew what she was doing. It was an attempt to hijack FaZe and Pippa to serve her purpose and fight her war for her because we have bigger clout and more people. Pippa was the last con. Jesus Christ. So by your logic, we're supposed to masturbate Keisha because she warned us about things that never happened, which were resolved in the corporate background where our CEO did his job. I find it funny that he says our CEO, like he's like some kind of insider or some shit. That's ridiculous and a clear case of Keisha trying her best to co-opt us. Again, I don't know why the plural here. They feel very collectivist on this one. It's like they're speaking for all of FaZe fans or some shit like that. No, it was the show that OffKai was caving to terrorists. It was warning and to keep an eye out for shenanigans. Look, Pippa got sabotaged. The guy basically confessed. If genuine Pippa sabotage occurred, Sakana would take appropriate measures. Is his way. Again, Pippa's case. If real, it has nothing to do with Kersa or her situation. Kersha's expulsion was a good call. Pippa's theoretical one is an overreach and unfair. Kersa, hey yo, there's a lot of smoke in here. Maybe there's a fire. Pippa's gets burned by fire. Kersa is completely unrelated to this. Pippa participated the last OffKai, and as I mentioned, if there was a foul play at work, our company CEO will take care of it. Kersa is just someone trying to grift and benefit from our size, clout, and Pippa herself. What a mofo. And then, you know, they're talking about this fucker again. Gustavo is back. My brother in Christ, the saboteur literally admitted to the crime on Twitter. My brother in Christ, that tweet is literally unrelated to anything on the internet. People have lives elsewhere. Again, that's his excuse for that one. Sure it is, Mr. Molotov. And lastly, in case you're wondering, there were other scuff. There was more scuff. And Uruka was also hit by that. Update, I couldn't get the stream to work in the atrium. I'm so sorry. I've literally been setting up for 3.5 hours and I'm generally losing my mind once one thing works, another thing breaks. I'm gonna try to record a few songs scuffly and see if staff can play at the booth. You have to understand the context for this. The internet at OffKai was incredibly shit during pretty much most of the convention. I imagine partially because so many people were there. But yeah, Uruka has also experienced issues. And so have a few other VTubers here and there as well. But yeah, this is the huge case of FaZe Connect's A-logs and sabotage. So I don't know what you think, chat. Was this deliberate sabotage or was this just pure incompetence that started to look malicious when people started to look into who was actually running the event? Are these people just incompetent, or was there some action at play? Was someone trying to fuck with Pippa and FaZe? What do you think, chat? I want your opinions. Let me get a poll up real quick. Let's see. Start the poll. Sabotage or incompetence? Let's see what you have to say, chat. Before we move on into the next part of the stream, I want to see what you guys have to say about that one. I see sabotage is winning by quite a bit already. Over 80%. But there are a few people that think it's incompetence. There's also some people that think it's a mixture of both, which, you know, would be kind of on par when it comes to that sort of shit. Because we've seen how these people have treated others in the past, and the levels of shit that has been happening during last OffKai, especially with some of Shina's performances, if you don't remember that one. Most of Shina's performance was ruined because of technical issues. But yeah, I'm seeing here that sabotage is winning over. And I wouldn't blame you for it, to think that it is that way. I personally think there's enough evidence to at least see malice coming out of all of this happening. There's a lot of evidence to show that people out there have been you know, fuming, at least fuming to get Face Connect and Pippa especially out of the convention entirely. So them taking some action to actually accomplish that wouldn't be that far from the truth. So I do see that point. But again, I like to work with concrete evidence. Circumstantial evidence is fine and all. So I personally think that if someone was fucking around, it eventually, hopefully, will be found out. And there's still the case of Kersa actually, you know, apparently wanting to jump something at some point in time that would constitute some kind of definite proof that people were fucking around with Face Connect and Pippa specifically. But yeah, that's what I would like to find out going forward. We'll have to wait and see with that one. But again, I do not blame the people that took the sabotage side on this one. Because it does really look fucking shady on all fucking fronts with this convention. And I don't know what Face Connect CEO Kevin is gonna do after this, because this surely isn't, you know, good PR for Face Connect. I mean, it does create the situation where, you know, FaZe is treated as the victim of the situation, and that, you know, scores them points. But in terms of, you know, putting on a good show for people, this is pretty fucking bad. Especially, you know, since this was a huge planned event. It is a problem. It is a huge problem. In my eyes, at least. So, yeah. That was the main part of the stream. I'll leave the poll up a little bit longer, but we are not through yet with this discussion, because there's a little bit more. There's some miscellaneous stuff that I want to show you, some funnier stuff, some less funny, and some more informative than others. So let me look that through real quick as you guys keep discussing the recent portion of the stream. But yeah, to show you the levels of incompetence, here you go.
Excuse me, no photography of the black screens.
People shouting, "Where's my Oshi? Where's my Oshi?" As the monitors shut off during the karaoke concert, people want their Oshis. LMAO. Yeah, a lot of shit happening. A lot of scuffed shit happening during that fucking convention. There's video evidence of that too. But yeah, miscellaneous stuff that took a lot of my interest during the convention. I'm like to show you here and there. There's some venue photos in case you wanted to know how crowded it got. For example, this one. This is the main part below the atrium, I believe, close to the ballrooms. As you can see, people sitting around and already, you know, taking up a lot of space, so people cannot actually go through as easily. It is a fucking problem. It's pretty fucking crowded. And that calls for a venue change. So if OffKai doesn't want to experience this again and have people complaining about, you know, people stinking up the place because of poor hygiene or just, you know, being cooked up with these all other people for fucking hours without end, then yeah, they're gonna have to change the, the fucking event. Yes, bold. There has been a lot of boldness in at OffKai Expo. It just happens to some people at certain ages. Even if it's in their 20s, it just sometimes happens. Whether it's, I don't know, American diet or just bad genetics, I don't know. I knew some people in my life that went bald in their 20s. And they had a pretty good lifestyle. It just kind of happens. But yeah, we're not here to discuss baldness, as interesting as it is. So some miscellaneous stuff pulled up. Other than, you know, pictures of bald people. Some stuff like the drinking party. You probably understand that weeb-centric events, anime conventions, what have you, nerd conventions in general, they're gonna have a lot of room parties. And one such party was VTuber Rodent themed, and they even had drinks that were themed around certain rat VTubers. So here we have a few examples of these. Here's the drink selections from the Rodent room party. Window washer fluid, tequila, blue Carcoa, squirt. Whatever the fuck squirt is, I don't know. I do not drink, or maybe that's a joke on female ejaculate. I do not know. It could be both. I like to think it's both of these things. Moscow Mule, ginger, beer, vodka, lime juice. Sounds pretty good, by the way. I don't know if, well, ginger beer. It's not normal beer, it's ginger beer, so it's gonna have a little that ginger beer note in it. Sounds pretty good, I'd say. Vodka-based drinks are usually pretty fucking good. I know that from my younger years, tasting a lot of these. I am completely straight edge nowadays, but I remember what I drank and I remember what I liked. Another one, cheese to do your mom. Melon soda, gin, sweet vermouth, cream cheese foam. This feels like a very acquired taste sort of drink, especially with the vermouth and gin coupled with the cream cheese foam. That sounds like not something a lot of people would like. And I'm sorry, let me take a drink, which isn't any of these drinks, by the way, just one of my energy drinks, I guess. An energy drink without actual sugar in it. So without energy as well. Next one, rat piss. Vodka, limoncello, lemon juice, egg white. That's a really cool name. And the drink was served in a piss cup too. One of those, piss cups that you get during urine tests. So it was served in such a thing. Martini press, cold brew, Kahlua, vodka, lemon juice. This sounds very good. Cold brew in itself is pretty good. I like cold brew, but this would probably be my drink of choice during this whole thing if I was there. Looks pretty good too. It's actually fancy enough. And lastly, a drink called Get Hydrated. Various soda, water, Japanese beers. Inspired by curation. Yes, a lot of VTuber fans usually telling their favorites to get hydrated. Hydration checks are very important and very frequent when it comes to VTuber fans. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty funny stuff. Even if one of them is called Rat Piss. Still, people had fun, and that's all that matters. And in case you were wondering about VTuber room parties and what was going on behind the scenes, here's a screenshot showcasing the Virtual Asylum members talking about room parties and what's commonly known as the room orgy legends. Any weeb centric convention has to have some kind of orgy rumors going on about it at any point in time. Last year's OffKai, I actually showed you, if you were available during that stream, if you watched that stream, I showed you an actual room that was used for fucking. So it was an impromptu orgy room. That stream is still up out there. You can view it. So in terms of that, it was showcased. So yeah, room orgies may just be real. So here are people discussing it from the Virtual Asylum, but on their Discord. The orgy rooms are real, and it's full of capitalists in dresses. Please tell me this is a joke. The local fanboy was blacked out drunk. He had to be taken by two guys back to his room. Are you talking about a Tao twist? Yes. So he was the piggy. Oh my fucking god. Many unwashed legs in pee panties. KPP cord, femboy, literal. I swear to god, if this OffKai shit ends in the revelation that Archive Bro, and in case you don't know who Archive Bro is, he's one of the main archivers of Pipkin Pippa's content, was a staff member and was the one who got Kersa blacklisted and participated in the gay orgy where everyone was cosplaying as Pippa, I'll fucking kill myself, because there's no way life will ever get weirder, and everything after that point will just be disappointment. Let's hope for the Proctor's sake that that's not real. But I'll tell you this from the account of my friends that were walking around these room parties. I will tell you this. There have been a lot of capitalists cosplaying as Pippa. A lot of them were male. Whether they engage in orgies or not is, up in the air. But there's one thing that has been corroborated by at least 3 people to me. And that, one of the capipis one of the capipis out there, one particular one has had a little bit of a BO going on. And by a little bit, I mean when he entered the room's pH changed immediately. The acidity in the air got palpable as that person entered the room. So yeah, it wasn't very pleasant to be around that one capitalist. So whoever you are, stinky capitalist, smelling into high heaven, I hope you wash your fucking balls next time, so you don't ruin the reputation of capitalists, if that is still fucking possible. I do not know. If you're in the chat, I don't know if that's possible, but likely. You probably know who you are. If you ever watch this stream, just wash your fucking ass and balls, man. That's where all the male stink is gathered. It's not just your armpits, Mr. Capipi. It's not just under your armpits. It's also in your crotch region. It's especially in your crotch region, especially if you're if you're a hefty gentleman that weighs over 300 pounds. Be sure to wash there frequently. Moving on, here's a few cosplay photos because they're cool too. I'm quite sure a lot of these ladies were hired to promote Face Connect because there's been this cool Pippa cosplayer along with the Hime cosplayer as well. We'll have another one of these showcased later. The Hime one was especially pretty fucking good. And something also that was funny happened with Jelly as she was making a little bit of a request to her fans. You know what would be absolutely sick? If the Star Knights going to the OffKai karaoke got a bunch of broken pokies and put them in a makeshift Gelboro cigarette box drawn with Sharpies. Then at the karaoke everyone downs a Jerry shot, smokes a cig, and awawawas. I think a video of that would be peak of my career, actually. And guess what happened? Well, her wish came true, and there's even a video of that. Let me get that. Let me get that for you. The video is pretty fucking cool. Miscellaneous. There it is. Hold up.
Wait, can I? Oh my god. No. Wait. Turn around.
Very cool shit, might I add. Sometimes, you know, people say that weeb events are fucking cringy and just generally embarrassing, but moments like this just make you smile a little bit, you know. These are the events that are worthy of just attending that convention for you know, for things like this. This was pretty fucking good. I liked it. I liked it at least. Then, on an unrelated note, Mo Tendu, if in case you don't know, is the co-founder of VTUBER, and he had this to say when OffKai was going on, which is really fucking strange, and I do not know until this day how to interpret this particular tweet from them. I went to a furrycon instead of OffKai. Happy Pride Month. Fuck you, die slow. Yeah, I don't understand why Mutendu would do that as a, you know, co-founder of VTUBER. Is there some internal strife going on there? Is Mutendu joking? I don't know. And what does Mutendu mean by fuck you, die slow? Is this directed towards people that do not like Pride Month, or is this directed towards OffKai itself? Should OffKai die slow? I don't know. Should the people against Pride Month die slow? I don't know. This is like a tweet that's like one of the biggest fucking mysteries out of this whole fucking thing. Why did the co-founder of VTUBER tweet this? I'd like to understand. I do not know. It's very weird, but it happened, so I had to show it to you. And again, in case you don't know, overcrowding, huge fucking problem. Take a look at this shit. How many people are there? And this is another problem when it comes to bigger conventions. Lines aren't made clear of who is going one way and who is going the other way. Usually at places like this you will have clear lines, so congestion like this doesn't happen, but there wasn't anything like that to my knowledge. So you'll have these huge fucking traffic jams. It's pretty fucking bad. If you squeeze more people in there, you'd be risking some kind of crash or something. And it doesn't fucking help that people sit around and are just blocking shit. Yep, That's how it is. Where's the ball pit? Well, the ball, even if there was a ball pit, you wouldn't be able to fucking see it because there's so many people in the way. Hold up. Next one. This one is in wrong order, but yeah. So vendor section, the vendor hall. There was this one particular vendor that was selling these very fucking cute pins, enamel pins, with all kinds of characters, including VTubers. And in case you don't see this, a lot of the Hololive ones, they got sold. They got sold out, in fact. I don't remember which ones got sold out, but a lot of the Hololives did, in fact, were very popular and got sold out almost immediately by what people have been telling me about this particular vendor. And sorry, I'm gonna take another sip. And this particular vendor was selling them for $20 per one. However, the funny shit about that is there was another bunch of pins in there. There was another bunch of pins from our favorite VTuber company, Niji Sanji. And those were all stacked in one basket. And they were just $5 each. And no one was buying them. Just lied there. In a fucking pile. Niji Sanji, not even once, not even at conventions. Not even at the discount. $15 off. Still in a fucking basket. So yeah, Niji Sanji is not doing very good. And it's not like these pins are bad or anything. They're very fucking good quality pins. I don't know. I'd buy the Petra one. It's pretty fucking cute. I don't give a shit about Niji Sanji, but the pin is fucking cute. At least I'd buy the Petra. I do believe that people actually saved some Rosemis out of this one, so they wouldn't be next to the likes of Pinana or Reimu. But yeah. It's funny to think about. I just wanted to include that because, you know, it just shows you how people think about Niji Sanji. And you know, since this was California and since this was San Francisco too, there was a fucking power outage at some point during the convention as well. Well, shit. Power is out at the Crown Plaza Hotel. Hope you're doing alright. It just came back on right now. Are you a wizard? I heard this wind fucking going outside my hotel is crazy to see a bit of it. Ain't no way the power is out for blocks and hotels don't have power. Can't wait for the right tweet longer about this in my OffKai adventure, lol. So the blocks around the hotel have a blackout. And again, this isn't really the fault of OffKai's organizers itself, because, you know, these are pretty much acts of nature, acts of God. And the fact that California's power grid is fucking awful. And a lot of these hotels either have very shitty backup generators or don't have them at all. So, yeah. A little blackout here and there is also warranted when you're visiting California. Here's the Hime cosplayer again, with a very cool sign called Deport Low Effort Clips. And in case you don't know, Low Effort Clips is one of the biggest Face Connect clippers out there, and he's apparently also Mexican. And here's a little a little icon of his in the corner with a hat with a sombrero behind bars, saying "Deport Low Effort Clips." And if you're wondering what this is based on, this is based on this particular tweet. Zincro, who is the owner of Low Effort Clips made this clip showcasing what happens if you take Hime's crown, which is also her halo, like a Blue Archive character. What happens when you take Hime's crown? And Hime had this to say about this. What happens when you take Synchro's visa? Gets fucking arrested and deported. So this particular cosplay was inspired by that tweet. So congratulations for making it cool, and congratulations to the very, very good Hime cosplayer on going in with that bit. Grade A work, I have to say. So with that out of the way, I have one more section for you. Just one more. We're gonna be talking about the Rage Pig, the Bog Hog. Even Ralph has also entered the fray with some particular tweets of his, because a particular former best friend of his called Gator Gamer has attended OffKai Expo, and considering Ralph is a vindicative cunt that doesn't let anything go, he decided to tweet about this a few times, and even right now I think he's having a stream about that. And again, we're going to be looking at that stream at some point, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a few days, who knows. Depends on how I feel about this. But a lot of you, I imagine, do not know Ethan Ralph, so I'm going to introduce him with 3 photos and a few videos. So you'll just get a little bit of a context what kind of person we're talking about here. And again, I'm using the word person here very liberally, very loosely, because Ethan Ralph is not a person, to me at least. Ethan Ralph is some kind of amalgamation of fat, pig genes, and alcohol, probably Maker's Mark, because that's probably the only thing that he can afford. But yeah. Here are 3 images to introduce you to Ethan Ralph. Here's one. This is Ethan Ralph's infamous Gunt, which is an amalgamation of the words gut and cunt. Why is it a Gunt? Why is it a gut and a cunt? Well, because Ethan Ralph has reached this point in his bodily formation where his stomach has been affected by gravity to the point where it got a bifurcation, where it got split in half. Oh shit. I don't have pills, chat. I don't have pills to shake. I know some of you fucking know this meme. And I don't have pills to shake because I don't have health issues. But I do have this bottle of drink which I can shake. I don't know if you can hear this. Pretend this is his fucking alcohol shaking, or this is his gut shaking. I don't know. So I'm gonna shake a fucking bottle instead of a pill bottle, which I don't have. So yeah, that's enough of that. But yeah, this is Ethan Ralph's infamous Gunt, which is also now his nickname. So his stomach, which is very diseased at that too, because he has some warts on it, like it's really kind of fucking disgusting. But I'm gonna zoom in on it anyway, because you have to understand that animals need investigating too, and if Ralph is a new fucking species, it's best to investigate him earlier rather than later, before he goes extinct. And considering that the guy probably has undiagnosed diabetes or worse, probably AIDS too, because believe it or not, there was an arc in Ethan Ralph's career where he was suspected to have HIV or even AIDS. But yeah, this is his fucking stomach. This is the bifurcation here. You can see it in the middle, where his stomach starts to look like a fucking ass. He has some warts on it on the left side, which I don't know how the fuck they were formed. Probably because of the lack of, proper hygiene, and the fact that when you put it in your fucking pants, it kind of chafes on everything, and you kind of get a scar tissue as well. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it seems plausible enough of an explanation for me. So yeah, this is what he's known for primarily, in case of his physical appearance. He also proclaims to be around 6 feet high, although his his official arrest when he assaulted a female police officer, says that he's 5'1". But you know, he has a little fucking problem with that. Pun very much fucking intended. And he goes haywire when you mention that he's 5 fucking foot 1 inch. But yeah, that's the first photo. The second photo Ralph is known for is this one, in which he looks like someone's disappointed father that is, you know, that saw his son masturbating for the first time and was very disappointed. What is this photo? Well, this photo is when Ethan Ralph went to Portugal to own one of his skaters, an individual called Andy Worski, a former or even current Bloodsports commentator, if you want to call him that. And since Andy Worski has some ties to Portugal, I do believe his family lives there or something. Even Ralph decided to fucking go to Portugal to own him in some fucking way. I don't know. I guess according to Ethan Ralph, if you go to somebody's country, you ultimately own him or own his heritage or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm not a drunk fucking rage pig. I don't know how that logic is supposed to work. But upon arrival in Lisbon, which is the capital of Portugal, Ethan Ralph, according to him, got assaulted by 4 Portuguese men. And he got his fucking purse stolen, his man purse, mind you. And that purse later got put on eBay for an exorbitant price. I don't know if anyone fucking bought it just to have a memento of Ethan Ralph, but as he was getting that purse stolen, he also got punched in the face a few dozen times by my count of the bruises he has on his fucking face. He got his skull shaken, and I do believe his skull also got fractured. To the point where he later got fucking googly eyes, and that's why he wears glasses nowadays, because he doesn't want to show other people that he's actually fucking cross-eyed. Because that's kind of embarrassing if you want to proclaim you're the fucking alpha male. That you're you're the peak of fucking masculinity, because believe it or not, Ralph thinks he is that. He thinks he's the big man in fucking charge, the top of the fucking sector, as he called it, the sector, as people call it, and the sector is like their word for political commentators with a lot of pull. But Ralph is just a fucking drifter. He comes from fucking Gamergate, but I don't want to get into details of that because there's hours upon fucking hours of content that I could make, and I might make at some point if he gets into VTubers more. You know, that I could present to you as a context for everything. But yeah, Ralph got beaten in the streets of Portugal by him proclaiming it was 4 men. I personally believe it was 1. Because Ralph likes to present himself as a tough guy in a lot of situations. So of course, he had to be assaulted by an overwhelming force of men for him to fucking go down. And down he went onto the fucking streets, bleeding profusely from his face and all of his fucking orifices. And got his fucking purse stolen. And Pippa made fun of that. And that's why Pippa cannot talk about popular internet creators or many other people online because of Ethan Ralph, I guess. Because that's bad PR. I thought it was funny. At one point, we're going to be watching these clips of Pippa talking about Ethan. Because they're pretty fucking funny, believe it or not. But yeah. he got over that, kinda. But then, because Ralph never knows when to fucking quit, not having been punched enough in the fucking face in the streets of Portugal, he went to Portugal again. Only to get beaten in the streets once again by 2 fucking Brits that were A-logging him, that were following him around, wanting to take pictures of the bog hog in his natural habitat. And his natural habitat is going to Burger King in any foreign country that he is, wearing these very tacky Hawaiian shirts, female fucking shoes, like female fashion shoes, and pants that are too small to fit him. So he got his ass beaten so hard, he like went down in 5 seconds, or even less than that. Mind you, he is also the one that started this fight with these 2 British men. One of them, I believe, is called Cog. He's also one of these weird dissector streamers that has commentary videos about commentary videos and streams about lolcows of all kinds. And his friend was the one mainly doing the beating. Ralph got beaten so fucking hard, his ass and stomach came out full force. As you can fucking see in this screenshot, in this very, very nicely framed screenshot that I prepared for you. And you can see everything is just fucking spilling out. See, chat, I love all cows. I love them like you wouldn't fucking believe. It's not that I like them as people. I find them completely reprehensible and terrible as people. But especially when they're obese. When they're fucking obese, I get so much motivation in myself that I do extra workouts upon seeing them. I get this sort of feeling with Wings of Redemption. I get this sort of feeling with Boogie. And I also get this sort of feeling with Ralph. So every time they cross my screen, I make sure to get up, do a few sets of push-ups, get my barbell all nice and ready, get my dumbbells and do a few sets on that and those here and there, because I will know that I will never ever reach this level of masculine supremacy that even Ralph has reached by excessive fucking drinking, the ingestion of drugs throughout all orifices, and by sheer fucking alcoholism. I will never reach these heights of masculinity. I will forever exercise to avoid being an alpha male, like Ethan Ralph here. But yeah, these are the 3 images that I wanted for you to see as an introduction to Ethan Ralph. And believe me or not, believe me, there's a lot more. There's like hundreds of hours of content I could go through. I know a lot. I remember a lot. But I also prepared a few fucking videos that we're gonna be watching about Ethan Ralph. They're very short videos, don't worry. We're not gonna be lending Ralph our time just now. Not yet, at least. I prepared this short intro for a later stream, which I'm gonna show you to right now. I'm gonna be using it for every single stream.
Come on, pig! Come on, pig!
So yeah, whenever this happens, whenever Ethan Ralph stream happens, we're gonna be playing Connie. We're gonna be playing this clip.
Come on, pig!
And if you chat, if you be so inclined, if Ralph ever posts something about VTubers, like I don't know, like do me a big favor and tell Ralph what you think, and you can do that favor for me by showing him this clip.
Come on!
I know how Ralph likes VTubers, so I'm quite sure he's gonna be appreciative of this one too.
Come on, pig! Come on, pig!
Sweet! And I don't have my fucking pills. I need to get some mental illness so I can have the pill bottle I can shake. But yeah, I've got a few more videos about Ethan Ralph, so you know what kind of individual we're talking about here. Just a moment. OffKai recap. Ralph. Here's one about Ethan Ralph's height.
Hey, P-Sauce, Pieman here. Killstream host Ethan Ralph is known to get upset extremely often, but perhaps there's one thing that makes him more upset than anything else. Comes about his height.
Do I look 5'1", bitch?
You are 5'1".
Do I look 5'1", bitch?
Ralph himself has stated he is 5'9". On another occasion, he said the jail he was in confirmed his height to be 5'8". And on a document provided, it says he is 5'10", which is extremely unlikely. He is clearly shorter than Nick Fuentes, who is definitely not that tall. Even Ralph, who likes to exaggerate his height, doesn't say he's 5'10". A police record in his official mugshot says Ralph is 5'1", which is often cited as the most trustworthy source, but ignored by the Gunt. But the question is, how tall is Ethan Ralph? Let's take this photo. Using the environment of the floorboards, we were able to find a consistent vanishing point and a 1-point perspective composition. This is not enough to determine the height of anyone, or even where the ground plane is. Therefore, we'll have to commit to one person and use their leg and foot position to figure things out. Let's use Dick Masterson. Dick, unlike Ralph, or I can assume the other two people, has been outside with people before, so we can make a good, accurate comparison. Dick says on Reddit that he's 6 foot, and this could be corroborated with this picture of Dick and Mike Cernovich, who's reported as 6 foot. That out of the way, still no feet or full leg shots. But there's another way to go about this, by using another person who's been pictured with Dick before, and his—
By the way, if by any chance I ever meet Ralph face to face, and I know that won't happen because he's a fucking coward, I'm around 6'5", and that's no joke. And every person that's around 5'1", 5'2", I have to look down really far down to see them. So if Ralph makes me look down, I will know he's like 5'1" and 5'2". So he'll have to be in dick-sucking height, unfortunately. But let's continue on with the video.
Has been in many full body shots before due to being in a lawsuit. Count Dankula. We'll use this photo since it's fairly level with a 1-point perspective angle. The issue is, Dankula's height isn't well known. That's fine as well. Here's a photo of Dankula with Dick that has chosen 1 because it's one of those arms
I played volleyball before in high school and college.
around the shoulder shots, and 2, it's a level photo with little to no depth change. Using the outline of full body Dankula and forming that outline to match that of the photo to the right, obviously without stretching it vertically, we're able to ground Dankula in a way that's parallel to Dick's shoulders. That's enough to go back to the original photograph. After isolating just Dick and Dank, then matching Dick's shoulders with the original Dick, we're able to ground Dankula in this photo, meaning that we now have a ground plane to work with. Let's also use this photo, in which Dick's right leg is very straight, to do some height analysis. Let's outline his leg. We go back, size the leg to match the original's thigh angle, and we have Dick's right leg in a 1-point perspective plane. Then taking a PNG of a ruler's at 12 inches, you can stack 6 of them, scale it down, and smack that stack right next to Dick and his leg. Rulers are great, because you can't mess up a ruler's measurements. Obviously, Dick is leaning down slightly with his right shoulder skewed to accommodate Ralph, but that ruler pile should be 6 feet in that picture in perspective. The great thing about 1-point perspective is you can scale objects easily and move them around, so you can get the height of things from different depths. This would be enough for anyone to find Ralph's legs, transpose them into perspective in this photo, and then determine his height accurately enough using the rulers. But what if Ralph's on his tippy toes? Well, let's do some more maths. Unfortunately, I don't know who that person—
By the way, Ralph has been confirmed to wear shoes that actually elevate him a little bit. He has been seen wearing shoes that increase his height by at least a few inches here and there. He's wearing these fucking pump Reeboks that have this increased height to them. That is a confirmed fact about Ralph as well. He doesn't like to be perceived as a small manlet. That he is.
on the right is, so I can't find pictures of him and his legs or a full body shot. This would be great information to have since he seems grounded really well. However, for the same closure, we could use pictures of Ethan fighting Riley. Here's an approximation of Gunt's legs. This particular angle is great since it shows his legs.
Just fucking look at this picture, chat. Like, you saw the Gunt beforehand in that one image that I showed you, but here it is, like, fully fucking exposed. He looks like fucking Red Papa Smurf with a fucking fucking ass. Fucking ass in the wrong fucking place. Instead on his back, it's fucking in front. This man has two fucking asses. Whether he shits out of the front one or no, it's a fucking mystery. I do not know.
And they haven't thickened up with his Gunt. His exact hip position is shown too, meaning we can't figure out where to put them no matter what angle. Understanding the proportions of his leg now, we can draw them in perspective knowing where they're attached to on his hips. Knowing we can't physically lower the legs without them literally dislocating, it can be confirmed that Ethan Ralph is on his tippy toes in the photograph. Using the ruler, we can basically take its height, move right next to Ethan, and determine his height. Despite the tippy-toe increase, we can conclude that Ethan Ralph is still 5 foot 5 inches. However, knowing that tippy-toe increase is approximately half your foot length, and measuring that out, which is about 3 inches, Ralph is officially 5 foot 2 tall. That's 2 inches shorter than the average American woman. For the record, no country in the world has an average male height shorter than Ethan Ralph. Not even Timor-Leste, which has an average male height of 5 foot 2 inches and a half. Ralph is 5 inches shorter than Napoleon, 4 inches shorter than Ross Perot, 3 inches shorter than Jason Alexander, and 1 inch shorter than Mickey Rooney. In fact, I'm a whole foot taller than Ralph, which yes, does make me more of a man than he is. But don't worry, I'm sure Ralph makes up his height and width. The truth is, not all of us can be tall. Dwarfism, or achondroplasia, is a genetic condition that affects between 1 in 15,000 and 1 in 40,000 people. Luckily, people suffering from dwarfism have a regular lifespan, but they do have many other problems in life. The shortest person in recorded history is Chandra Bahadur Dangi, a Nepalese man who was only 54 centimeters tall. In 2015, Chandra met Sudan Kozan, the tallest living person, who is 251 centimeters tall. Kozan has gigantism, which, unlike dwarfism, is a condition that does severely affect the lifespan of people afflicted by it. If not stopped by childhood, it can have a death rate of over twice the average human. Robert Wadlow is the tallest person ever recorded, at a height of 8 foot 11, or 272 centimeters. His height is attributed to hypertrophy of his pituitary gland, which led to an abnormally high amount of human growth hormone. Wadlow never stopped growing, and died in 1940 at the age of 22. While being tall is often regarded as a positive thing, it may not be as positive as it seems. A team of researchers at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine published a study that shows that tall people live much less than short people, not to mention having a higher risk of cancer and other illnesses. So Ethan Ralph, instead of lying about your height, maybe embracing what you can't change. Being yourself is the best thing to do. Being short isn't a downside, but something that quite literally gives you more life to live. And as always, thanks for watching.
But yeah, I have another one. This one was pretty funny, you know, gives you a little bit of context about Ethan Ralph, but there's a little bit more. And by little, I mean literally. Take a look. Take a look at these shoes, chat. Look at these fucking shoes.
Don't want no short man.
I'm not 5'1", I mean, clearly I'm not. I've been standing next to worse than
5'8", and you're taller than me.
I know, and it's just fucking retarded. But Tommy C is just like, I know it's retarded, but like, what got you, like, what upset you about that? And I said, well, it's just obviously not true. I guess is the thing.
It's not true.
I am taller than you.
No, and my torso is like way shorter than yours.
First off, I slump. So if I set up straight, it's a different story, but like, you're actually not taller than me.
I have like all legs too. It's really funny.
Oh, fuck is Wings talking about, dude?
I don't know how tall he is. He doesn't look very tall.
Nigga, oh my god.
But all joking aside about Ethan Ralph's height, there's one serious thing that you need to know about Ethan Ralph is that he's a reprehensible individual. And the following clip really, really demonstrates it. And you'll understand why. Believe it or not, Ralph had a lot of girlfriends, and he even had 2 wives. He had 2 children, which begs the question, who are the women that are desperate enough to put their meat, as is dubbed the Memphis Micro, which is in line with Ralph's height, very, very small. But they still decided to do it and let Ralph move around in their insides to produce a fucking child with him. I don't know what kind of desperate women would do that. I don't know if these ladies actually valued themselves as human beings in order to do that. But they did. And Ralph procreated and released his seed into the fucking world. But Ethan Ralph is not a good husband. He's not a good partner. And he'll never will be. Because this is the type of shit that he does to his significant others.
One Man Army, who was on yesterday, said, I found the stream clip of Jim finger banging his wife on air. They weren't. That was his future wife at the time. That was the first time she had came to his house to stay with him, to visit him, actually. What the absolute shit. Yeah, and she's telling him, no, stop. He basically sexually assaults her on air. What I said in my rant on Twitter today was 100% true. That's what happened. Now, did she get into it at some point or whatever? Obviously, they got married after, but that doesn't change the facts that she's saying no.
He's trying to make a point that, I don't know if you know, but Metaker had this particular infamous stream where he finger banged his then girlfriend on stream. And everyone recorded that, and Ralph is trying to make a point that Jade, his now wife, has been sexually assaulted by Jim during that stream. And Ralph is trying to make some moral point about this here. Because apparently his consent is needed. Ralph's wife, Jim's girlfriend at that time, consented. Jim also consented to the finger banging, but Ralph, nope. He's the contrarian. He thinks this was sexual assault.
Oh, don't do this, and he's doing it anyway. I mean, that's pretty much the definition of sexual assault.
And this is what Ethan has done to his own wife, his second wife, by the way, which is Amanda, also known as Pantsu Party. We'll get into her at some point, but not during this stream, a later stream. Do read the subtitles because the audio is a little bit quiet, because this has been recorded in secret by Pantsu herself and then released into the wild.
I'm gonna put your stop.
You think you're gonna talk to me like this? You're not. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? You won't talk to me like this.
I understand.
Do you understand? Go ahead.
I'm getting a towel.
You're what?
I'm getting a towel.
You're what?
Getting a towel to clean off your desk.
You're getting what?
A towel.
I'm not gonna hurt you. But I'm telling you, you won't talk to me like this. Do you understand?
I understand.
Do you understand?
Please don't put your hands on me.
Please don't put your hands on me, says Amanda. Please, and repeats, please don't put your hands on me, Ethan.
I understand.
I'm going to
And then he says,
put my hands on you. And you're not gonna stop me.
I'm going to put my hands on you, and you're not gonna stop me.
And if you try to stop me, I'll fucking kill you.
And if you try to stop me, I will fucking kill you.
Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Women, man, they are ruthless. And they're making plans when you think they ain't. Recording your shit you don't even know.
Recording your shit. Showing that you're an abusive asshole that threatens his own fucking wife with death. These fucking women, they do be recording. These women be shopping and then be recording their abusive fucking spouses. And then showing it to the whole internet to showcase that you have no moral fucking backbone whatsoever fucking ever. But yeah, this is what I wanted to show you in terms of context of who Ethan Ralph is. And I made a huge tweet about him the other day, showcasing some of the things that he has done. You can go read that one too. But I wanted to show you something else in regards to, not this shit again, in regards to today's stream. As Ethan Ralph's former friend and a co-host of his kill stream, he's now declining once upon a time popular kill stream. Gator, also known as the Gator Gamer, decided to go to OffKai. And Ethan Ralph didn't take kindly to that whatsoever. And he went on a huge fucking rant about Gator. So let me get my music back up and I'll show you what he actually had to fucking say. You do also have to understand that Ethan Ralph is a very vindicative person. He never lets anything go. Even the slightest of insults against him, he takes incredibly personally and will hound you and your family for it. He will do everything to ruin his life if you cross him. But he does it so impotently that he makes himself look like the biggest fucking buffoon on the fucking planet. So here's him talking about Gator and the legal mindset in regards to OffKai Generation 3. Here's legal mindset Andrew Datsky interviewing Gator Brian Holman, showing off his waifu board at OffKai Generation 3, a lolicon convention that is also pro-trans. Ooh, scary. A lolicon convention is also pro-trans. Several VTubers have been kicked for being too right-wing. He's the guy who calls me fat, by the way, at 300 libs. 300 pounds. I don't know if he's referring Gator's weight here, because I don't know how the fuck he would know Gator's weight. But if, listen, if Ralph here is referencing his own weight here, which would be 300 pounds, then let me do a quick calculation here. By my calculation, this is like a BMI of 57, which is class 3 obese, and there's no classifications going above that. So Ralph, at his height of like 5'2" or 5'1", whichever, Ralph is a super obese monster. Congratulations, Ethan Ralph. You're really the big man in charge. But yeah, being 300 fucking pounds at his height is not something to be very proud about. Not at all. And then he continues. This may be the most embarrassing thing I have ever seen a grown man do. Gator and talk to real women, and when he gets punked out by the cartoon ones. As he said. And here's Gator having a bit with a VTuber called Kiki, and they're just fucking shit posting. But Ralph considers this a huge own on Gator, a huge fucking own that Gator is having a fun time with this VTuber. But since Ethan Ralph cannot read fucking context or social cues, he thinks this is the biggest fucking own in the universe. I'm about to start shitting on VTubers, and VTuber enjoy it as a pastime on the kill stream. The VTuber Freak Show will begin tomorrow. Thanks, Gator. You ushered and you contemplate with your insanely cringe behavior this weekend. Man, this is gonna be fun. Oh no! I'm really scared of a bunch of freaks who obsess over cartoons like their girlfriends. Rest well, I'm just getting started. And by the way, he's been posting Kali and her as demon dice too, because he's retarded. LMAO, Seiko VTuber fans are only softened and very upset. Rage bait. Oh, my guy already rated it as a non-helpful. You have a notes profile. Do the same. By the way, community notes manipulation is not in line with Twitter's TOS. So yeah, that's what Ethan has been up to, and he's currently streaming. By the way, I have a stream in the other window, just peeking at it from time to time. He's been going at it for 4 hours now. He's currently looking at Shondo, by the way, as I'm talking about this. I wonder who actually showed him Shondo. But yeah, he's of course looking down at his phone with his fucking sunglasses on as his googly eyes are going all over the fucking place. Barely fucking keeping attention to anything, dozing off here and there. Having extended periods of fucking radio silence, just fucking dead stream all over, and his chat just keeps regurgitating the same shit over and over and then. And I do hope that Rumble keeps the chats saved as well, because Ralph's audience is as retarded as he is, as I'm reading the chat. Like, let me read some pieces of his chat here. He's currently looking at fucking Fallen Shadow, and some of his chatters say, oh, he's actually getting invaded by some people shitting on him too. That's funny. His chatter saying, N-word, you made your personality around pedo shit and gay shit. Reddit Troon pedos equals Jim and Kino Casino audience. Fallen Shadow is the silver bullet against these weirdos. They can't defend it and fumble when she's brought up. LMAO. I don't know how Shondo fans fumble. I have no fucking idea. Just Shondo does her Shondo things, and Shondo fans support her, so I don't know how Shondo fans fucking fumble on it. I have no fucking idea. Hi VTuber here. Just a quick question. Why do you hate VTubers so much? Because he's retarded and he's rage baiting because he cannot get fucking attention from anything else, and he of course hates Gator. Hates Gator quite a little bit. And since Gator likes fucking VTubers, of course Ralph is gonna go after VTubers too. Let's see what other fucking words of wisdom his chat has. Watching anime leads to this, like watching porn leads to becoming a troon. Is the final form at the end of the dark road. Legal mindset follows that pedo. Shadow Fallen Shondo too. Gator getting isekai to hell. The Japanese need to get their shit straight. Oh, this is gonna be a fun stream when we actually get to this one. But then again, as I see Ralph barely fucking holding on to consciousness, I will probably have to go through that and clip some parts of it, because we're not gonna be watching the fucking rage pig just sitting and fucking dozing off for minutes without end. But yeah, that's for another time. Right now, that's all I have for you, and I hope you'll guys join me later as we look through some other shit. But yeah, for right now, that will be everything. thanks for coming out. I hope you can come to your conclusions on the sabotage narrative or the incompetence narrative, or both of these at the same time. Make you up your own conclusions. Maybe Kersa has a little bit more information ready for you later on. But for right now, I do hope you enjoyed yourself, and we'll have another one very soon, because I tried to make June very free for me, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. Just get my work out of the way first, and then we can stream about some VTuber matters before I leave for Anime Expo. But you guys take care of yourself. Have a good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you find yourself in the world. Stay hydrated. Do not drink Maker's Mark like Ethan Ralph. Do not mix it with medicine like he does. Take care of your mother. We haven't gone through that, but Ethan Ralph kinda, I'd assume, contributed his mother's death because he didn't take her to dialysis. He just told her to fucking take a hike and at the same time maybe suck a bowl of dicks as well. But that's a story for another time. You guys be well to your significant others and to your family. And take care of yourself. I will play you off with some nice tunes.